forward to this.
We'll do an intro in a bit. But Ty just hopped on here looking fucking massive for no reason. You always see him in an oversized shirt, and he never shows it, but he's showing it now. So know that he lifts. He indeed lifts. Funny enough, is you were talking about being it's dude, being bigger and hot does not combine well. When it gets hot during the summer, fuck, dude. You know when you're eating a
Bad.
heavy meal and you start like it's not like you start I don't mean exaggerate sweating. Like I'm not like dripping down my face, but you start getting hot. You start getting hot just eating there.
Yeah.
Funny enough, too, the slew experiment, the slew.
Yep.
So not high dose. Like I couldn't even imagine. You don't feel a thing. Nothing. You don't feel a thing. I mean, given it's only 10 and 10, so I did 20, which is still more than the microgram dosage. But I want to say the only thing was a little bit of heat. But then again, it was hot over the weekend, so I can't even attribute it to that. But I don't know.
I started 40 this morning.
Did you? Blood sugars. Mine was 5 points lower than usual the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the only thing I changed.
Yeah. It gets a little lower. I feel it.
Yeah.
I was a little shaky this morning, but yeah.
Wait, wait, you got stim from it? Anything? It couldn't be anything else.
No, like shaky, like I need to eat.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I called the cycle. Uh, So I'm just a lot's going on. I'm running around. So it's
Oh,
been
wow.
about
What?
yeah, so it's
Uh-huh.
been about 13 weeks or so. I was like, good point. And I was like, I wasn't feeling the best like outside the gym. Obviously, it was the highest dose I ever took, and I was like, it doesn't feel amazing. So I was like, it's good
And you're talking
time.
about like in this situation, especially right now, why do that? And it's only more stressors, only this and that, when you
Yeah.
can cut it, clean out, and then save it
Yeah.
for another time.
Yep. And we're 28-ish weeks out. So it's like time's out anyway. So little 6, 8 week health phase and clean it up real quick. So
We're week 3 right now.
yeah.
Dude, I got have you seen dude the Morphogen Nutrition's health line is so well dosed.
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Funny enough is I want to say they raised their prices since Nick because for their Black Friday sale, I picked up two and two of the heart, the prime, and the kidney.
Mhm.
They were I remember out not just because it was Black Friday, obviously, but I think they had to be much lower before, bro.
I,
I mean they're well worth it, but they're kind of expensive now.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he adds that little bit of a, you know,
Most people didn't know. I mean, like I've always thought they'd be great. But dude, like their heart product with nanokinase CoQ10 NMN, it's fucking loaded.
yeah.
Those of course like Revive is always gonna be great. There's plenty of other good brands as well. Core Mix, tons of good stuff. But it's just like I was looking through their formulas. I think they're the best out there. I mean, the
They're
price
loaded.
reflects that, obviously. Price
They're
reflects that.
I think it's them and HD Muscle. They like to have like a lot in one, so it's like they just take, whatever, five total
Yeah.
products, but it's everything's in there.
Yeah. And
I
like I
get a
said,
little,
not everyone needs that too. Not everyone's looking for that. Like the average
yeah,
person, or they can, like a TRT dad could take pure astragalus. They don't need, all the kidney stuff and
yeah.
whatnot. Not
I get a little
necessary.
skeptical sometimes. Obviously, like those are good brands, but when you get like, a bunch of ingredients in one, it's like, am I
I
really
mean,
getting all that?
I mean, even if it's a 12 cap serving, you got to think, even though they're milligrams, is each thing packed? Like you'd want to trust that, but there is room for error with all that. Like,
Yeah.
and there's some brands when you're just like, dude, when you look on Amazon, I do not suggest shit from there because you see a Tudka product that's like 500 milligrams for 20, you're like, there's no, it can't be done. It can't be that cheap. There's no way.
No, your
Like,
Tucka's
there's
got to be
one.
expensive.
Dude, that and you'll see like ripoffs of like NAD or versatile
Yeah.
like NMN that for like 19.99. You're like, no, it does more of these. It's not real. And it's unfortunate because it's rated high on Amazon, and the average person's not going to go out of their way to check whatever inflammation markers are, going
No.
off. I don't know exactly every single one to check for. So people are just wasting their money away. Don't get me wrong. I probably waste money in other facets of my life too. Like when I used to pay for an oil change. As a man, I should know how to change oil, but I don't. Well, I have a Tesla now, so I don't. There's no oil to change. But yeah.
Man. Do you want to get into our topic?
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I that was one question I thought we can hit it on the head, just because
Yeah.
I'm sure and it's a topic I'm sure we'll hit in a different way. But women and PEDs. So
Mm,
like myself, funny enough, I was going through my clients. I've worked with 65% women. I'm not sure if you see me repost a lot. Like I want to say I appreciate all the referrals, but they're the best with referrals as far
yeah.
as working with one, and I'm hands on all that kind of stuff. But anyways, let's talk about the good and the bad. What it's hard to say what we would suggest. Well, let's not use those. What I would, in doing that situation and what should be avoided. Because I just as how many males are in the gym. Let's say in the gym, at least 50% of males have at least used are using something like PED wise. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Half.
Yeah.
And we're not
Maybe.
talking, it doesn't have to be an injectable. Let's say some sort of performance enhancing drug. And then especially, I mean, women too, and a lot of these influencers and personalities on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not saying these women are heavy cycles or taking tons of stuff, but using some sort of performance enhancing thing to give them, to get them ahead when they're so lean all the time, whether it's a GLP, whether it's a cleanse. Anabar is way freaking so accessible, and women know about
Yeah.
women do know about it, but also don't know it's a steroid. It's
Yeah.
not just taking it and be okay. What have you seen?
Yeah. I think more recently, at least, what I'm hearing, obviously I haven't coached any women on PEDs, so I can't say directly, but like what I hear like at the gyms is uh, like the anivars are they're just like candy, like they're just, oh, I'm not feeling great today. I'm gonna take an anavar. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know,
And it's the thing is, it's not. I guess the barrier to entry is so low with it being an oral and how accepted it kind of is. What I think is unfortunate is how many women don't know. I mean, it can be absolutely run safely. A
yeah,
5 milligram dosage of Anavar from 4 to 6 weeks, you can come out unscathed. Be smart about it. You're going to be completely fine. I generally think so. But it's the fact of we all have that human nature of this is working well. I'm going to take a little bit more, or I'm going to take it a little bit for longer. I like how this is working. And it takes that, to stop. I mean, you can say the same for a male, like when they're making fucking gains, but their blood pressure is 160 over fucking 90, and it's like, stop. we
yeah,
did. They don't always get those signs so quickly.
right, right. I think that's the main thing is like because I've seen some coaches that are giving out 15, 20 milligram doses, but they're saying twice a week or three times a week, and then anything that's given twice a week is going to turn into three times a week and turn into four and turn to five. And it's
And
like
it's
if
gonna
we're
become a
doing,
daily thing.
yeah, if we're doing 20 milligrams, five times a week, like that's not okay. Unless
I guess what, yeah,
unless you're
dude.
going to the Olympia,
No, and that's a good stuff. Okay, as far as what, so I'm gonna caveat this with there's as a competitor, you go to your coach and say, I'm willing to do anything, I'm willing to take anything. We there's always two sides to every story when I've gotten this plan from I was with this coach, here's what he put me on, here's what she
yeah,
put me on. And I blows my mind because you see it in their text oh my goodness, this one, she came for me, please, no one's gonna know I'm talking about you if you watch this. But the first time became a competitor on Clen, Anabar, T3, and Primo from a local coach around this area. And the thing is, she's a first timer being put on, not to say you have no right to take PEDs, not to say this or that, but first exposure, a cleanse. Like, that is funny. And it sucks because, I mean, on one end, the girl can probably be is very trustful and hey, and this is what all the girls are taking. If you want to be I mean, this is bikini too. I'm not even talking about wellness or figure or
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
And it just blew my mind. And at first I was like, we have to, stop taking these things. And she's like, no, I stay lean. Like I like taking these because she stays leaner doing it. But just the exposure time and oh, because dude, as men, we can not to say things are reversible, but hair loss, acne, libido can go up or down those effects that we get, side effects, which are effects of these drugs, are manageable to an extent. Whereas women, virilization, we're talking, I mean, voice dropping an octave or two, that doesn't
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
That's the scary part about it all.
That's where I think is that there's not enough education, especially like, like hearing these protocols that our coaches are just giving out or giving out with no explanation or, you know, any, whether you got a bikini competitor and you got a figure competitor and they're doing the same protocol, like that's, there should be some sort of explanation, and just like I think especially in like the bikini division at the amateur level, it's just like you've been training for 6 months. Like you need to just train longer. Like they look at the national level competitor who's on TikTok or whatever, and it's like, yeah, she's been training for 10 years. Like, like
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
always think,
if you look at the best like national level competitors or pro bikini, like they're using Anavar for like 6 weeks at a time. Like right
and
at
we're
the end of
talking
their
at the
prep.
end, yeah, uh-huh,
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's it. Sometimes they don't even need it.
It's time under the bar, largely.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I understand. Like you know what? I guess it comes back to wanting it sooner, and we all want that sooner. Like we all want something a little bit faster and a little bit sooner. But it just has to be. I mean, stay within a reasonable time frame of all these kind of things. Because I mean, even then, I would go out my way to say, what have I suggested to women prior is a 5 milligram dosage of Anavar. If we take 10, 2 weeks, and that is
Yeah.
and that's that the and you cut it right on after that. But we can even go as to say growth hormone is probably the safer option of the two, even then. But it just has that barrier, something about the barrier of entry of the subcutaneous shot. It,
Yeah.
it's scarier. I found that with women most of the time that it's something that makes them a little bit nervous about that. Although the pill, it's simple. It's just like, oh, this is going to help me do this.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I guess we can go into like generally safe things. And even then, I can also say I've never used an injectable with a woman. Can they be done? Absolutely. It's just one of those things I talked them out of it. Like, hey, this is what can happen. We can do a see something, say something sort of way about it, but the risk for realization is high. Like, unless you plan on taking this far and doing this for long and monitoring tons of stuff, it's not worth it. I genuinely don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's the part that's missing is having that conversation because I mean, they can use any of the same thing. I mean, they could use any of the same PDs, but it's like we need to have that conversation and understand like where are we trying to go and like what to look for because it's like as a coach, the side effects aren't like things that are just going to pop up on a check-in question, So it's like if you're in your head about like, well, I'm progressing and I feel better and I'm getting bigger and I'm getting leaner, you're kind of going blind to the side effects that only the client can recognize and
Mm-hmm.
needs to
What we saw,
translate.
right? Yeah. And it's
So
just like, and then the risk to reward, like, I mean, we see it all often. How many times, and like, okay, I scrolled enough TikTok where you'll see a girl post like prior little eating videos, goes pro, and then in 4 months from then, you'll hear their voice drop down 2 octaves. They're doing the same exact like clothing try on or full day of eating, and they're like, they sound like Batman. I'm exaggerating. And this isn't even me making fun of them. This is more so just like those are real. That happens, and they won't come back to it. Like it won't come back.
yeah,
So I guess
yeah,
it's just like to say. I always have the conversation of this. I I don't think you don't need it for one, and this is what we can do. And I have yeah, again, I have no issue with Anabar climate. I think they can be done. And to anyone watching, we're not even touching on how any of these systems work. Like
right.
I don't is like if any somebody can make the argument that NPP can be safer of a woman, and it
Yeah,
potentially can be, but
yeah,
that's a whole nother subject. But it's just like as males, we're exposed to this. They are too. They are too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there are so many options that are like non-virilizing. Like
Mhm.
obviously we have all the peptides now. Like I think you could even argue that like peptides will have a bigger effect on women because they're in general like a like women compete like a bikini competitor is a smaller structure, so they'll probably get more out of whatever we're using if we're using like a tesamorelin or a CJC or something like that. Because like if we're taking growth hormone, they only take like two
1, 2
IU's.
IUs, and
Yeah,
you're making, it's funny because I make that joke often to them. I'm like, hey, although this is going to cost you a fraction of what it would cost the male.
yeah, yeah. So it's like there's so many things that we could do instead of just like blasting it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And for example, I'm going to use my own fiance as an example. When it comes to wellness, these women are heavily muscular. They're extremely muscular to the extent of the national level overall winners likely are using some form of injectable, some form of something. And this isn't to take anything away from them, but to achieve this level of muscularity, there's anti-estrogen use. She's never used one of those. Like these are things I would couldn't ever. Like this is me caring about my person. I don't
yeah,
want to take, but the no using the Novadex, using the Rimadex, the way they work is they're anti-estrogens. As women, they have these estrogen levels that are higher than males. You take that, it dries them out. That really thin skin look, I'm not convinced. A large portion of it is anti-estrogens. But
yeah,
then when it comes to fertility, I mean, like the menstrual cycle rebounding to fuck, who knows? It's
yeah,
just kind of scary. Like she accepts and like knows that level of muscularity won't be achieved without that. But what are we willing to do to take to get there? And that's the one thing, one line we're not going to cross.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
feel like
No,
somebody needs like somebody like I'm her partner, so that's me thinking like that. But outside of that, you don't always have that. Hey, just so you know, this might happen. You're so even because don't get me wrong. If you really have that dream, you want to achieve this. Some people need a little bit, some people need more, and it's just something that line. Were you willing to accept?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the wellness cycle. I've seen wellness cycles are insane. I mean, it's basically it's probably more than some like national level men.
Dude, it blows my mind though. Like legitimately, and I'm convinced this is genetic. Some women can get away with a very like I mean we see a slightly sharper jaw.
Yeah,
Oh, the big thing is, oh, I don't mean to laugh about this, but a side effect that how many women have you will you note start wearing headbands
yeah,
because they're getting their hairline receding because of this shit. That's unfortunate.
yeah.
It's unfortunate. Like you start losing hair. Like if you don't do these things periodically correctly. But yeah,
I mean,
I just
I feel like they to be a high level female competitor, like you have to be so much more. Not that you don't have to be as a man, but like you have to be so much more on your blood work as far as like manipulating your not manipulating, but like managing your menstrual cycle in terms of like your training and your eating. And like if you're messing with thyroid, like thyroid is not as resilient as a male's thyroid, so
absolutely not.
we're using any sort of T3 or T4, like you really got to stay on the blood work or you're like, it's, you
And in
know,
women and iron, not to, I mean, it relates is like a lot of women are anemic. I mean, they have their time of the month and that the iron, the ferritin, like it'll, all these things, and then dieting down to low levels of body fat. I mean, there's so many moving pieces when
yeah,
it comes down to it of what to manage and how to manage it. Where oh my goodness, it's when a female gets their period like within a month after their show, they're like, I've had it before, like, hey, like I'm a week or two late. And then like I say not to say don't worry about it, but I don't want to ever say this is common. I say this is common. Is it okay? No, we do want to address it. But when they get it within that first month after, I'm like, hell yeah, this is a great sign. Like, I mean, obviously there's so much more going on the
right.
inside, right? But it's just a really great sign when you do because that comes down to like especially dieting for women. I have my 25 gram of fat. You have to be above that rule. I make that a thing. If we're pushing, it could be for like 10 days. But even
Yeah.
then that's a whole nother subject.
Well, I mean, I think you could even argue that that in itself is doing so much detriment to thyroid, menstrual cycle side effects, everything is that they're getting down to eating 600 calories.
Hmm. And some do need to. Like I'm not saying that
Some need
every
to.
some absolutely do need to. I do get tired of you know what, we can prep you on just steps and you'll never go below 1500. Shut the fuck up. Okay, look, some people have to, like some men, some women have to. I'm sure you've probably been under 2000 calories before, right?
I think my last 6 weeks I was under 1200.
What I'm saying, like it's like these there is extremes to all this, and we accept that it's not healthy. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Oh
Yeah.
no, but
No,
I guess
the calories is kind of insane. You want to talk about seeing the full days of eating. It's like less than one meal.
uh-huh. Dude, I hate when I see like a 140 grams of like chicken breast and some spinach or something. I'm like, ooh, oh
It's
man,
rough.
that's
That's
it.
that's some dedication right there.
Uh,
What's your like general consensus of like your female competitors after their first show? Like, do they hate it? Do they love it? Like, what's your
I've had a lot of I want to take it to the next level. I want to do another one. I fell in love with this was hard, but I'm about this. But I've also had ones that come to me and were like, I only want to do one. I want to do one. And I guess that kind of also deems how far you push them or how
yeah,
far to go with it or to what depths you put like who can see for example? Like some that are willing to dig, like Angel, Alyssa, they dug like, hey, what we got to do? You put me on that 90. What do we got to do? And then I've had other ones that are like, hey, this is kind of like a bucket list thing for me. Not to say I want them to not come in shape, but it's also the I've had the I mean, this applies to men and women, but if they have a 45-minute cardio session, they're like, hey, I was lightheaded, I had to stop. I've had the ones that are like, yo, that shit was hard, but
yeah,
look like fuck yeah. It applies to men and women, right? It's
right,
kind of one of those things. You have to get like you can't put that sort of oomph into someone. They either have it or they don't. When I'm fucking fine off that, I don't feel. I can feel a little bit bad for myself, but I'm like, this is what it takes to get to the next little level. So
yeah,
also like, I want to say I take into consideration what their goals are too, because I don't
yeah.
want them to like and the rebound. Oh my goodness. See, I know we talked about this before, but men and women, men, if you gain 15 pounds in a week, he's bulky. Oh, bro, you fill out your t-shirt. When it happens to women, it's just fucked. Like it sucks.
Not
Their
the
face gets
same.
full. It's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
but
not fair.
it's really not. I feel like they get in their head more about
Yeah,
it too.
absolutely. I mean,
So
don't
then
get
you're
me wrong.
just
Like, I don't want to look at my watery ass belly. We've all been there. Like when you have more water, or like around it is water at that point. Not fat quite yet, but it's like you fill out your t-shirt and you're like, you know what? I'm good.
yeah.
Uh,
No, but yeah, no, that's bad. That's bad. The rebound is bad.
mhm.
But if you stay shredded, then you're good.
Oh, can we? I guess that we touched a lot on that. I was saved one question,
Okay.
dude. You get okay. I get freaking nuked when I talk about. I don't know what Meta flagged me for because it's
Yeah.
funny because like I post some stories like so my reach is typically let's say 800, 1,200 views, and then I got stuck sometimes after posting like some sort of peptide content like it stops at like 180 and it just stops right there. I
Yeah.
get it because I post a picture of me and Brie or me and Chico
Yeah.
and it just gets run the fuck up. And then I next one I post that I'm fucked.
Yeah, no, they hate us. You can't say anything.
But I have right here. It was right here. So my client, I can say she probably. She's totally cool with me. Saying her. My client Alyssa, she just competed.
Mm.
She asked him, how do we navigate post show dieting, or dieting rebound, the reversing. Just I'm throwing this at you, general. What do you say about the week post show? How do you approach it? What is something you would do to stay on track?
Well, what I did for myself that worked very well was I switched to like 7 or 8 meals. I just took the same amount of whatever the food was, and I just spread it over 7 or 8 meals so that I was like eating 2 hours on the dot. Like some of them were like an hour and a half, hour 45. So it's like when you're hungry, like eat the meal. Like if you're going to be hungry, so it's like eat a chicken and rice first, before you try and eat a bag of Oreos. Um, but I think Chris Tuttle has a good approach too. He says he like just jacks up like 400 grams of rice a meal. for that first week so that like if you make it through the first week, like you're probably okay. So whatever you can do, if you got to have a big bowl of, salad and lettuce every night or big bowl of watermelon or something or like a bag of frozen strawberries.
You know what? It's funny because like it's you're already not like your brain first goes straight to these sort of things, but it's easier said when you're so disciplined. Like because you are.
Yeah.
Not to say she isn't or I'm not or that or somebody watching this isn't, but you realize these kind of things like adding a whole ass cucumber to each meal. That's not going to make or break. That's not going to make you fat. It's
No.
just like the because I always give the general guidelines of the week post show you're going to have friends, you're going to have family, coworkers all bringing you snacks and treats, all offering you this and offering that. If you have the control to take that bite out of something and say, thank you, that was great, that's not going to make or break things. But it's the second, you're at work and your friend's like, I bought you this box of fucking donuts. And then you smack down four right there. That becomes a problem.
Yeah. Just take the bite and put them in the freezer.
Something like that. Dude, I throw shit away at that point. Like,
Yeah.
after my last show, that evening, whatever snacks it is, it's funny because like we would get me stuff, and I was like, we're throwing like I'm throwing it what I don't need to wait, just because if not, like, and I have no issue with it. It's not that I can't stop myself. I can fuck up a whole Little Caesars pizza. I only eat
Yeah.
half, but that's gas. And the next morning, I'm not gonna eat the cold ass pizza, you know. But also the more experience you get too, right? The more times you've been through any even a dieting phase, not to say contest prep, it's also you sort of in a sense get comfortable with or what makes your body uncomfortable. Like I'm gonna eat this, this is gonna be the shits. Or I'm not gonna feel good
Yes.
after eating this. So
Yeah.
that's also how I start thinking about things. Like I know I don't feel good if I eat that. I'm not going to. I
Nope.
s- Falling in reverse, I don't say it's easy for me, but just the longer I've been doing it, the less I kind of want these other bad sort of things in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
I
just
think
like
I think what will make it easier is like trying to like Joe Perch does, like trying to set up a phase in the middle of the year at some point. So like I did that before this last phase. I
what you
dieted
did
it
me,
off
huh?
dieted it off pretty quickly and tried to create a rebound. So it's like when you get that vision of like, wow, this is what it looks like when it's like 1 + 1 = 4. And it's like, okay, next time I'm not gonna eat everything and throw this away in 2 days.
Yeah.
But I mean, like yes, you probably shouldn't do that, but like you can get it off, like it'll balance itself out. Like,
But I guess that's a good point. I mean, also like you said, 1 or 2 day eat the Saturday, the day it was showed, and the whole next day, you can still go crazy. It's just how many days like don't line too many of those days up in a row and get back to it. It'll come off.
yeah, it's like a cheat meal in the off season. Like, don't have something every day. Just have your one meal. I have a,
Yeah.
what do you think about this? I have a firm belief that like, say you were going to have a cheat meal and then you decided to take it a little further and say you got pizza and ice cream and cookies. I feel like if you eat it all at one sitting or like one meal time, you don't absorb all of it. Like obviously you'll have the shits, but if you had that same amount of calories spread out through the week, I think you would absorb it all.
I don't know. We can't even ever pinpoint percentages even. We can never. But yeah, I
Yeah.
know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
With all that going down at one time with your digestion, some of it, for lack of better words, has to get just shit out. There's no way.
There's no way.
If you spread that across like noon till bedtime, your body would absorb more of the calories. And I don't have anything to back this up, but I
No.
totally get what you're saying. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Nothing to back it up, but I
There's
firmly
no
believe it.
way. There's no way. That's so much going in at once. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah. I will stand on that forever. So
All
that's why you have
right,
to throw away. You got to throw away the snacks.
yeah.
Eat what
All
you're
right,
going to
here
eat and
with a
then throw it
few.
away.
Go with the questions. Let's see it. What do you got?
From my boy Joseph Lee, he says, back left side contraction much weaker, less mind muscle. How to address training to it. So like one side
He
is
fit
weaker
that
than
into a
the
box. I think it's funny because he had it
other.
worded like that to fit into the box.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, what is the first thing you would say?
Um, well, I have this problem, or I did for a while. So, like it's just for back training, you just gotta learn how to move your shoulder. So, usually one of the shoulders is stuck because you sleep on it or whatever. So, obviously do single arm movements, but like for back specifically, like you just need to move the shoulder. So, like learning how to move the shoulder on its own, and then learn how to move the shoulder together. Because like whether you're doing a pull down or you're doing a row, right? It's all just starts with that shoulder movement. So if you can like if you're doing like a pull down, right? Just lock the shoulder down first and just pull from here and don't unlock the shoulder.
Ah, okay. I'm going to use that cue, the shoulder lock. That is a really good cue. I've never heard it put like that before.
What would you
Huh.
say?
I just you want to keep this right there. Like I've said that, but like that's a good way of putting it. Because like when I talk about like let's say bicep curl hinge or something, I say like
Yeah.
your elbow is like a door hinge.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
can only go right there. So when that's locked in that position right there, the only thing you're gonna use, right there. I mean, and to go off your point, also the way, like you said, the way you sleep or habits you have throughout the day, which is your dominant arm, getting there can be, and again, this is why I go see Mike because Mike's incredible what he does, Mike over at Metroflex. But you can be surprised if something's limited. If you have some sort of even like shoulder impingement for a pressing movement, that can lead into this and put your shoulder in a funky position for not being able to contract something well. So getting body work done in the mobility kind of stuff behind that, I think is a huge aspect of it as well. Because I can get my pecs released, and the next day my back contracts so much better too. Because all this is no longer sprung so much forward, I'm able to then extend in a different way or better way, I should say.
Shout out Iron Hands Mike.
I'm going to see him on Sunday.
Last one. My boy Nick, my first client. Discipline versus motivation.
Okay, I'm going to say this is getting, I mean, and this is applies to not even just bodybuilding, right? I'm going to say everything. Find your why you do things. 100%. That's what I every day. Whether it's what are you doing that it's not just when you're motivated to do something, whether it's work, whether it's, I mean, this habits that you don't want to necessarily do. What is your why? What are you working towards? When you find that, and you know what, it's easier said than done because you may not know yet. Being a younger individual as well, may not know yet what your why is, what you want to provide for people, to your family, to your partner. I always say my why is my fiance and my dog. What am I doing if I'm being a bitch with one of these activities? Is it contributing towards getting us further, our future? And that's getting deeper than that. But your why can be anything else as well. Your why can be, I want to get a raise at work. I'm not getting paid enough. I'm going to work harder towards this, even if, right? I'm just saying you can apply it to anything. A
Yeah.
why drives discipline, your discipline through the roof, 100%.
100%. All right. Let's end it there.
That was good. All
All
right.
right, everybody.
Everyone,
Appreciate it.
comment, like, share, everything. Please hype that. If there's a hype button, there probably isn't, but it's
Oh,
okay.
hype button. What should they comment? Comment your meal three.
Meal three. Yes.
I think that's what we're on. All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Later.